Hey, what's up, you Apple fam, fire starters? How are you guys today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic, fantabulous, and you guys, I'm not. I'm definitely not doing fantastic. Definitely not doing fantabulous because over the past, since Wednesday, today, the day I'm recording this video is, what's today? Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Anyway, I've been sick, like sick as a dog, in bed for like 3 days straight. Like, it's horrible. But anyway, I'm here now recording a video. That's why I haven't put any content out since about Wednesday here on YouTube, because it's been pretty bad. So anyway, like really bad. Anyway, so I'm gonna walk this way because like I'm like the village YouTuber guy. I've been doing this for years, and so people around the area, like, they know that I record videos, and I don't really care for them getting in sometimes because it can be a distraction. Anyway, so you guys bear with me as I try to do this video. But anyway, so I just want to talk to you guys just real quick as a TOTD, a thought of the day, and kind of more so about a concept that I heard. I may do a few videos, but a concept that I heard about earlier today that it really sank in earlier today. So earlier today, I was listening to Spotify, and I do my best not to listen to just music alone, because music, though can be great, super inspirational, inspiring and stuff, it's not the best. Like, I always think that you should be having some type of good message or something playing in the background, right? So that's exactly what I did. And so I'm listening to this like motivational type message deal on Spotify, and I'm just, rocking to it. And there's a line within the track that said pretty much this: when you know how bad something can get, you know how bad it can get, right? And when you know how bad it can get, you can begin to appreciate how, like, everything else, right? I know I'm not doing it justice, like, not quoting it verbatim, but I was sitting there and I started thinking, I was like, whoa, wait a second. So we're around the track and I was listening to it and I was like, whoa, wait a second. That's super true. As I begin to analyze my life, I begin to think about, different times where, I've been in pretty dark scenarios, dark situations. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, in that situation, I found out how bad things can get. I was gonna say pretty get. I don't know why. Anyway, I kind of saw, I was like, wow, things can get pretty bad. But at the end of, or by the time you get to the place where it's really bad, you're like, wait a second, that's pretty much how bad it can get. So then what am I afraid of, or what would I be scared of me going to this again, or experiencing this again, or whatever? Anyway, so I began to think about that. Then I began to think about a testimony that I heard of someone who came against, or up against, the spirit of fear, right? And oftentimes we think, that's not your own, oftentimes we think, like, when we think of fear, we think of, just negative or, dark things, right? And, but if you've ever, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced fear on a level of it being crippling or tormentative, right? Where it's like, it's crazy, ridiculous fear. Like, I've experienced both of those, where it was really horrible. And in those moments, like, after experiencing those times of intense fear, I can remember, if I go back to those experiences, that, yeah, it was really bad, but I'm still here, and I'm still alive, and I'm still going, and I'm still kicking, and I'm still breathing. And in the times where I've been through some of my most darkest days and trials and stuff like that, I can go back and, recount on my life, and like, yeah, it got super bad and I don't want it to happen again. But when I did go there, it wasn't, yeah, it was bad, but how would you say, it's not that you would want to do it again. It's more so that that you can survive things getting that bad, right? And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, wait a second, this is something I have to do with TOTD about. I have to talk to, whoever's, you may be out there, going through XYZ trials, tribulations, circumstances that befall you, situations that you're not really prepared for, and they just jumped up at you and you don't know where to go, don't know how to operate, don't know, what to do. It's like, yeah, you're in this strait. Yeah, you're in this, situation, this predicament, this circumstance, whatever you want to call it, that is pretty negative. But if you look at where you're at, you're actually surviving, right? And that's what I don't think a lot of people think about when they're going through things. Yeah, you don't want to go through, no one wants to go through hard times and tough times and struggles and all that stuff. No one wants to. But oftentimes you live to tell the tale, right? A lot of times we don't think of us actually surviving. We survive we as humans are super resilient, right? And when God brings us through certain tribulations and trials and stuff like that, when he takes us certain places, he knows that we can handle it. And we even prove to ourselves that we can handle it by being alive during the process, right? The man that comes to mind who went through probably the worst that any human being has ever gone through next to the Lord Jesus Christ, probably Job, right? And even during all of that, he still survived. The devil couldn't take his breath. The devil couldn't take his life, right? So as you're going through what you're going through, I know like at any given point in time, there's someone going through something that's tough, that's challenging, that's debilitating, that's, that'll weigh you down, that'll almost, in kind of old school terms, cur you out, right? Where it's too big, it's too like, the sickness is too great, right? The impossibility is too big. Like, I hear, church building projects are horror, or can be horrors, right? So things like that, whether it's a church or starting a ministry or, like I said, the sickness, whatever it is so big, it's so massive. But if you're going through it, you're actually surviving through it. Now, you may not be thriving. You may not be like on top of the mountain. But if you're going through it, you're actually making it through. So keep that in mind as you go about what you're, the hard times. Sorry, guys. I don't know if I mentioned that I've been like super sick. So like I'm trying to suppress a cough. Anyway, very ugly cough. But so just, keep that in mind, right? You're still here, you're still alive, you're still surviving, you're still like, your heart's still beating, which means you have another second, another 2 or 3 minutes, or another 2 or 3 years, or 2 or 3 decades, right? You still have, if there's life in the mix, there's hope, right? You have hope for a better tomorrow. Why? Because if it really got this dark, and you've come up against this fear, this torment, I know it kind of seems like it'll never be, but look at the reality of the situation. Yeah, you're in the dark. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, your parents aren't probably together, or you're going through a divorce situation. I'm trying to think of like some real things that are coming to mind that I'm not articulating, but the things that are coming to mind are young people going through, parents splitting, or church leaders going through a building project, or someone coming on the edge about if the doctor's report being cancer or not, right? Those are some big huge things. But if you are alive right now, or maybe you're going through the chemo, or you're going through all that stuff, if you're actually going through it, you're still alive and there's still hope. So don't give up hope. You're there, you're alive, I know this one guy, and this is kind of where I'll wrap up the video. Since about 2 years of age till high school, he was homeless. And I am so thankful I had a personal opportunity to personally connect with this guy. And, not to sound a certain way, I'm not trying to follow after any trends of the world, or, any type of victim ideologies or anything like that. But this guy, he was a young African-American guy coming up in some places that, just weren't advantageous for him to grow up in. And he had a really awesome philosophy on that. But anyway, so he never had a home to live in. He lived out of his car, going through, you know, middle school, high school. It was just him and his mom. Middle school, high school, and he, despite all of that, despite his upbringing, despite, you know, certain challenges that he possibly could have faced, and you know, despite all of that, he was telling me that his first college was an Ivy League school. He went to Stanford, I believe it was, and no, was it Stanford? I forget where, but the first college he attends was an Ivy League school. He ended up becoming a prime minister, excuse me, an ambassador or something like that around the nation. And he's traveling, representing the United States of America in places like Egypt, and places like Israel, in Thailand, and in Australia, like just going all these different places. And I'm like, what in the world? How did I get to meet you? Right? But this kid, this guy, this man, he was like, I think he's 39 at the time that I met him. He never had a room to himself. He like homeless his entire existence. Since 2 years of age, he's homeless, right? But yet somewhere, right, he didn't give up. Somewhere he kept pressing through. And I'm looking at that testimony, I'm like, dude, that's crazy, you know. And I didn't know if the guy was, you know, a Christian or not. I don't think he was apostolic. But you know, just hearing that, it's like, dude, like, no matter how dark it may seem, you know, no matter, like, through all the bullying and all that stuff, and all the social skills that he went through at this, I believe Stanford, you know, at these schools, like, none of that stopped him. And it's some sinner without Jesus, right? And so we have a hope that's greater than, you know, just you know, becoming an ambassador or whatever. We have a hope in Jesus, and a hope for future, hope for tomorrow, that's a hope for eternity, right? So as you're going through what you're going through, the honest intention of this video is to motivation and hope. Like, hey, you know, if you've seen how dark it can get. Yeah, 9 times out of 10 it could probably get darker, and that's not what we want. But at this moment, the quote-unquote darkest hour, right, you're still alive. You still have breath. There's still hope, right? Your heart's still beating. You still have your cognitive functions, right? So keep going, keep pressing, and keep moving forward. You guys kind of see what I'm saying? Hope this helps. Yeah, that's I was just thinking. I was like, dude, that's crazy. Like, anyway, so I definitely had to share that with you guys. So remember that. Before you guys leave, I do have to mention that something super exciting is coming to Aptitude 38. It's going to change the game completely from here on. February 3rd is when we're going to launch it. February 3rd here on YouTube. So subscribe. Stay tuned. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to completely change the game and do something that has never been done to date. I don't think, at least from my understanding, with anything like Aptitude 38. It's going to be nuts. So subscribe. Make sure you stay up to date, because we're going to launch it, and I'm super stoked about this. So okay, that's all I got. Subscribe. I got to go get rested up, because I am definitely, like I said, still feeling under the weather. Yeah, I'll see you guys February 3rd. February 3rd is the 3rd? Yes, the 3rd. And yeah, can't wait for it. Okay, see you guys. But anyway, yeah, God bless. In Jesus' name. I didn't mean to whisper. Excuse me. Sometimes people think like, oh, you know, is Yappa like, you know, keep things on the DL? No, I just wanted to see who that was, because they were like, steps getting close to me. I'm like, oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. No, I'm kidding. I was just talking about fear. Anyway, so, okay, God bless Yappa fam. Jesus' name. I really wanted to see who's behind me. I'm like, what is it? Anyway, okay, love you guys. Stay tuned. February 3rd. February 3rd. It's coming. Next Monday.